you reset it, you will know.
Hi, I'm Lady D Denise Gomez, and I have exciting interview segments and features inside the zone. For recording artists, you can sing? Well, Inside the Zone, second Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. is for you. Writers, share your story, no man, in From the Author Zone on third Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Mail Zone has unbelievably juicy stories of love, heartbreak, and triumph. 7 p.m. has never been this good. On Mondays, it's news, talk, engaging features at 7 in the Monday Drive. And Center Stage has everyone talking on Thursdays. Be a part of the show. Email me insidethezone@gmail.com or call me 914-304-2592. When Jamaicans talk about their parish, one feels that no other parish can match up their own, and the remaining 13 parishes are not up to par. We boast about our rivers and caves, the breadbasket and orange walk, while others brag about famous people who come from Fidem Parish, and that Fimi Parish nicer than yours. All we know is that this is one country with interesting people. At Satideh Mawnin Runnings, come make we talk.
All me, all me can say is
Oh,
because
can you hear me clearly?
yes.
Okay.
Well, a very pleasant good morning to one and all. I'm coming
Yeah.
to you live from
All right, now.
anybody know where me there. And I'd like to welcome you to this morning's feature. It's Saturday Morning Runnings. It's aired live at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. My guest this morning, and they pass guests by now, but because they too are in their own parishes, there
Tonks.
is St. James represented, St. Anne represented,
Right here, sir.
and we pray this morning that no wind will blow, because I am of the view that if a good wind blows, St. Anna go blow away.
No, the clothespin and the clothes
Two
of my
little
line can blow away.
clothespin cannot hold up a parish.
Not at all. Make we hope for the best.
All right.
And the lady who is in a very pretty looking background, she told me earlier before we came live that her top is representing the flowers that were planted in her grandmother garden. The garden looked quite sparse.
Ah,
Not much was going on in there. And name your parish, ma'am. You're
Oh, you muted.
you're muted.
Saint Mary,
The
pardon me.
parish with a little bit of flowers
Yes.
this morning.
This morning.
It is so good to have you all here as always. Welcome, ladies. I hope you had a great weekend. And we are looking
Oh
nice
my goodness.
and fresh and something. So
Yes.
God is good.
The week was
week.
crazy.
Yes.
Because it was like major exam week for me, midterm.
Mhm.
And but thank God I passed the 2 classes.
Ooh, nice. Most
So this is
important thing.
this is
Awesome.
the first half. So no pray for me for the second half.
With
Yes,
the pan it, man. With the pan it.
we
Double
on it.
time.
We on it. We're on it.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
And ladies,
Oh
I,
my
I
god.
trust that you remember to be broadcasting on your platform so all the parishes
Yeah,
can be
I
represented.
actually put in stream to my audience. So
Okay.
I'm
I'm
hoping
still
that
to do that.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that everybody is seeing from yeah.
Alrighty. So welcome everybody. Ah, okay. It's a hermit. All right. So we'll acknowledge our guests this morning as they are coming in.
Yes.
Family. No, they're not guests. Family, family, family. So
Yes.
Drea,
Vero.
as always, Drea is in Barbados and she's representing Kingston and St. Andrew.
Okay.
Wow.
Morning, my friends and loved ones. Morning. Of course, that was Herman. Vera said, good morning, Lady D and friends. Marie, hey, Marie. I hope you're not on the job or you're just a, sneak a peek.
She's
Morning, Marie,
representing St. Catherine.
representing
Nice.
St. Catherine. So,
All
and
right.
Herman now say
Clarendon.
me born a
Wow.
Clarendon. All right. So
Oh.
for
So
me,
why me think Ermin was supposed to be with me at St. James? Where are my Montigonians?
nobody no come yet. Then
Don't leave me out here on a limb by myself, you know.
no.
Well, no worry.
Mm.
You want me to see anybody from St. Anne here? 'Cause everybody
You
always
know,
come
so not
from
St. Mary.
Kingston.
Not
Everybody me
true.
meet a
Everybody
foreign,
come
them
from
always come
town.
from Kingston.
Mhm. So I was born in Kingston, right at Jubilee, lying in or lying in. And at age 7, I
Yeah.
went to Clarendon. But I was back and forth for holidays and stuff. But anybody ask me say me come from Clarendon, because hi, me only drop in
Well, it's
Kingston
all like,
because you know.
Mm-hmm.
eh.
so like we have the same story.
Yes, bro.
So like
Everybody
me
You
and
too,
else.
your sister.
Max?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was born in Kingston at Jubilee Hospital, Lining, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
at about
Okay.
maybe age 5, 6, I went to St. Mary to live with my grandmother. So we kind of
Yeah.
have similar stories going on there, Lady D. Yeah, but some
See,
are
see.
Well,
Kingstonian by birth.
well, well, me beat the two one because yes, me also born at Jubilee lining,
What?
but I went to St. James with my grandparents when I was only one.
Oh,
I
Wow.
was
okay.
still a baby, so
Maybe.
I acknowledge Kingston as the place I was hatched, but I'm repping
Mm-hmm.
where I was dispatched, which is the St. James.
Okay. Just like
That's
that. Just
that's
like
right.
that.
Just like that.
Morning,
So for
morning.
me,
Well,
hatched, dispatched, bred, and everything in the same place.
Okay.
Saint Anne, in my grandmother's house. My grandmother delivered me, and
Mm.
I was raised in the same house, and still the same house is still standing there, and I still represent Saint Anne,
So
one
Jack,
hundred
Mm.
Jack,
percent.
next time you make them send a picture of the house.
Oh, actually, I could probably ask my mother or my sister. I think they have.
Okay.
They have
Because
pictures.
there are so many of us who have lived. And then I also lived over in St. Catherine in Portmore
Ah,
for several years. Yeah. So, we move around a lot, but
Yeah,
if you
yes.
I spent some time in Portmore as well, but it's not a significant amount of time. It was about a year. I was doing a course, and long story short, when you have lived a full life, I had wanted to work with the telephone company. While
Mhm.
waiting to migrate, I filled I was looking for something to do, and I was sent to the telephone company. Back then, I have a cold, guys, so pardon the nasal sound. See me have my
we
remedy right
understand.
here, so
Sure.
yeah, but I yeah, so while waiting, I actually was sent. Well, I applied to the telephone company, and at the time, we had one in Montego Bay, but the training was in Kingston, so I had to spend
Mm-hmm.
a whole year up there. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So we
Hmm.
all
And
Well,
I
we
was
all
in
have
Portmore. I was in Portmore for that year, so it's strange that we are kind of
Okay.
walking along the same path. Yeah.
yes,
indeed,
yeah,
indeed.
because whenever anyone asks me where I'm from, this is how I always answer. I always say I'm from Kingston, St. Mary, and Manchester.
True.
Every time I get the question, I said I'm from Kingston, St. Mary, and Manchester. Every time I get that
Mm-hmm.
question. Because I was born in Kingston, I grew up in St. Mary, and I went to college in Manchester. And I lived in Manchester after I got married. I moved back to Kingston and then moved back to Manchester because, of course, that's where Norman is. They say men to
Mm,
lead and women
Oh.
to follow. So
that's
I
true.
followed him back to Manchester. So I've lived in three. I've been in three parishes too myself.
Ah,
So we kind of have similar stories here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, so by now, those of you who are on would have catch the gist that we are talking about the parishes in Jamaica and where we are from. As you come into this space, we invite you to just post where you were born, where you did live at some point in time, the parish. We have 14 parishes across the island of Jamaica, and we're divided into three sections:
Three.
Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey.
Mix it up and store it.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's as
Counties.
they would say, cornmeal, mix it up
Counties.
and stir it.
Mix it up and
Say,
store it.
Jesus, we're not easy, we're not easy at all.
The
Ah,
counties.
Yes. So no matter where we are in the world, whenever we speak of me, I go home, there's a place of your birth. Most
mm-hmm.
people, them say me, I go down, me, I take a trip,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and the phraseology is far and varied, but we know what you mean.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
some people still go back to their parish. They actually go back to the house where they were raised, in which they were raised,
Mhm.
and them not go nowhere else. Others will tell you that, boy, things get too hot at Jamaica, so me no really stay where me come from. Me stay a hotel, me go a guest house, me do a Airbnb, and all kind of stuff. But they will go to visit,
Mm-hmm.
Right,
right?
Yes.
And that
right.
has its place. There are many things that have caused people to be so concerned, and your safety is most important. But at the core of
Absolutely.
it, we were born and raised in a parish.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we wear we parish and we breastplate like Jackie. Come, Jackie, put up
See
yours.
my whole heart here? Look, I
The
have
whole
a whole heart.
Yeah, I know what it is.
All right.
right.
Don't play with me.
Yes. So Saint Anne's, yes, Saint
Saint
Mary,
Anne.
Saint James,
No
Clarendon,
matter what
everybody.
parish, no matter what parish you were born in or come from, everybody want to go to St. Anne.
Ah, true.
If I even for one thing.
Name
So
it.
that's how special St. Anne is. Everybody wants to go to Duns River Falls.
Mm.
You never want to go to Duns River
Okay.
Falls, lady?
I go. I've been several times.
Oh,
I've
shut
gone
up,
to
don't
I've
play
St.
with
been
me.
there.
You know, I go and you see right at the base there where the water gush down, which is
Eh,
nice
Hmm.
and cool, if not
The
freezing.
water,
cool,
they are straight ice water.
Me, I
cool,
tell you, say, hello. When you go
cool.
under there, you stand up. So the last time, you know what I did? I bent my head because I figured it out. I
You
go,
know?
I bend my head all the way over.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
so by the time the water is gushing down on you, it'll run off. So you don't feel it as much. Well, that was
Yeah,
Yes.
she
my
have a
little
strategy.
remedy. Mhm.
You hear
That
that?
But
was
after a
mine.
while, you get climatized too. No matter how cold it is, once you're in it for a while, you get climatized. So
Yes.
Oh yeah, you
And,
definitely do.
and the climbing of the
Yeah.
years ago, I
falls.
climbed the fall, and my cousin bought me a T-shirt for climbing it.
Sure.
Well,
You know the thing
the
that can
amount
say
of
I
times
climbed
me
those river
climb it and
falls.
nobody don't give me nothing.
Aye.
Oh,
People recognize high achievers. So you were a
Yeah.
high achiever and you were
And
recognized by
and look here, me climb it. The last time me climb it, I climb it barefoot,
mm-hmm.
You know,
and
that's what
that was
originally we always climb it falls
no. But
Yeah.
look here,
barefoot.
But it can be
I I'm
slippery.
not talking a long time ago. You know, me I
Not
talk just a
recently.
few years. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking because when we arrived in the like where the gardens are, the front section,
Uh-huh.
they had a whole lot of water shoes. I had water
Yes.
shoes, left it in the car, deliberately. And so when them say water shoes to climb the falls, me say I talk about water shoes. I saw me born and grow and can climb falls you talk about.
Yeah,
And me
you
tell you, when
don't.
me don't climb the falls, they with me barefoot, my feet were on fire.
Mm,
sore.
Them burn me
Mm-mm.
like say me that walk on hot coals because the
yes.
rocks
Mm-hmm.
and you're
That was
going around and
rough.
around and around on the rocks. By the time I get to the middle, man, I went to the top still, but by the time I got to the middle, my feet said no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I said next time, now leave the water shoes.
Mm.
That's right.
But when I climbed years ago, I did barefoot because I was much younger then and had more energy. But my cousins who were visiting from England, they were surprised that I did because I don't like heights. I really am afraid of heights.
Oh.
So they got me to have climbed it, and she bought me a T-shirt that says "I climbed Duns River Falls."
Oh.
Okay, well you deserve that then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
If you are just joining us, welcome. It's 19 minutes after 10 o'clock. It's Saturday morning runnings. Welcome, everyone. We're talking about our parishes this morning, and we invite you to post your comment in the chat here and tell us about your parish. What stands out for you? What you loved doing in your parish? I mean, I've already rinsed out the whole river. Something. I talk about Goa River and nearly drown all that. But I'd like to hear your story. Now, as Jackie talked about um, Dunn's River
That's a rough.
Falls. So in Clarendon is a very famous bar, and that's Milk River Bath. How many people go Milk River Bath?
I've
Have you ever
been
been
there.
Mm, you go
Milk
to.
River is in a Clarendon Milk River there.
there? He
I've
did.
never been.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never
Right
been to Milk
there.
River.
Oh,
My
Is it really
my
made of
my
milk?
you, I love that. Hey,
carry your cup, go catch some Max.
I've never been there, so I have to ask.
I love that.
That Max. No, no hard
One.
Walk,
All right.
walk,
So if you
walk
catch
with
a
your
milk,
bun pan.
if you
Walk
catch
with
a
your
milk,
bun pan, go catch some.
if you
Max,
catch a milk, then only put honey there same time. So we just carry it with the honey and mix it with the milk. You there.
so Max.
as you say that, you remind me of Jennifer when they said no standing anytime.
Ay,
At the bus stop when they said no standing anytime, Jennifer kept walking.
Oh,
ay.
Lord.
No
I
man.
I
No
I
man.
ended up going to a lot of places in Clarendon because my grandchildren's their father's side, they're from Clarendon. They're from Milk
Oh,
River.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
So
okay.
so that's how come I ended up over on that side of the world because otherwise I would have had no reason to be on that end of the island. But
Yeah.
it's a lovely
That's one place I
experience.
would
It
love to
is.
go.
So, according to legend, the Milk River Spa was discovered in the 18th century by a
Mhm.
slave who fled
Okay.
his master after a merciless beating.
I've
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
heard about
Lord.
Right?
that.
He was hiding in the hills near to the estate on which he had worked and stumbled across the brackish spring in which he bathed his wounds. And
Wow.
of course, out of that, the wound them heal up, and it was now known as a big thing. You can go here. So I lived in I lived in Tollgate when I was going
Okay.
to high school, and we would go over, which is not very far. You drive not very far away, and we would go there sometimes. Plus, while I was living in Penance, people would have little trips and we would go there as well and things. So there is the the beach area, and then you have the spa. So next visit, Max, add that to your bucket list.
Yes, I want to do
Okay.
that too. I want to go there.
Yes.
I've always wanted to go there, but I've never had the chance.
Right.
So
So
As
that's
long as the
another.
milk, as long as the river
yeah.
look like milk, I want to go there.
Go on, Mrs.
Well,
And it
it
was
don't look like milk.
well, if you want see that, if you want the milk mineral bar, you go to Iceland.
Okay.
Well,
Did I know?
Okay, they
Mhm.
do have a mineral
so Max,
milk
you have a
spring.
lot of
Yeah.
traveling on your list,
Yeah,
girl
a lot
child.
of traveling to
Write
I
it
do.
know.
down.
Tell me about it. Mhm. Well,
Okay.
I too have a river story.
Mm-hmm.
All
So
right.
as I said before, I was born in Kingston, grew up in St. Mary. And in St. Mary, there's the Wag River.
Mm-hmm.
Heard
Right.
about
We
it.
are most of us will know where Wag River is. And for me as a child growing up, it was a famous river, really famous, because back then in the summertime when we had drought, when the little rivers around in our district dried up and we couldn't get water to wash and all of that,
Mhm.
my mother and our neighbors would pack the dirty clothes in the wash, but we never had laundry bags back then. So we packed the clothes in the wash tub and put it on our heads, walked to the main road and boarded the bus and drove
With your
to and
clothes?
that took
With
us
a
to
cloak,
Wag River.
With
Huh?
your clothes?
and I never have no donkey.
Yes, we'd take the bus. We would take the bus with the dirty clothes in a pan and tie up in a bundle. Take the bus to
Lord.
Wag River. And we'd spend the whole day. So we'd bring food, we'd bring sandwich or whatever we could find, fruits.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd spend
Wow.
the entire day washing because remember, the bus not coming back until the evening time. So this
Mm-hmm.
was like all day, not just myself, but my mother, because I was a child then, and
Mhm.
our neighbors, like 5, 6 ladies of us with their kids, they with their kids too. We'd drive, take the bus there, and we'd wash all day, put out the clothes and the stones to dry, hang them
Mm-hmm.
wherever we could hang them to dry,
Yes.
wash here, bathe the whole 9 yards, and boarded the bus in the evening when they're coming back and back home.
Now, where you
So for
see?
Man,
me,
the more you live,
So
the
that's
more
yes,
you live, the more you
the more
learn.
you
Because
learn.
this is like way
Going to
out there.
that is going to the
yes,
laundromat.
Listen,
So,
Sharns, remember I told you guys the story about the pig in the bag in the box.
right
In
in
the
the pig in the
bus.
yes.
bus.
So when you think
Yes.
about it,
So
My
every time I
goodness.
go to St.
every time I
Mary, when
mention
I
that,
live
they
there, and
nearly
every time
laugh.
I go to Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
every time I pass over that bridge, it always bring back to mind,
Memories.
the days when we did that. And I used to
Must.
love it. It was the best thing for me.
I'm sure
Going
it's
on the
like
bus
a
was one thing,
picnic
but
day for kids. That's
yes,
like
that's
a
what
picnic
it
day.
was like. Yes,
Oh my goodness. Because
Wow.
yes,
that now is like the modernized version of going to the laundromat and almost spend the whole
Thank
day.
you.
I was gonna say that.
exactly,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks
we
for
did that.
Interesting.
sharing. Thanks for
We
sharing
had
that,
river
Max.
running right near where we live, so it was just a matter of just walking across my neighbor's
Mm-hmm.
land,
Mm-hmm.
going down, not even 10 minutes walk, and you bathe, you
Well,
wash, you do everything and
we
Yes,
walk
did
back
that
Right?
home.
too.
Yes,
We
for us
had that
Yeah,
too.
too. Sharons, we had that too. We had that
yeah,
too.
you're
We had
talking
rivers
about
close that
drought.
we could just walk to. But when
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
drought show up, there was no water. Those rivers would
Then
yes,
dry up.
yeah,
those small
So the
rivers.
next,
Yes, those small springs
yeah, so
and
the next bet would
yeah.
be to go to the bigger river because Wag River was a
mm,
big
Yes.
river. So the
Mm-hmm.
Right.
water was
yeah.
always
I
there.
have heard of Wag River. Yeah,
Makes
Wow.
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
yep.
Wow.
So,
Interesting
it
though.
created everything. Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting.
So let's
That's it. I mean,
so Sharon's, what's going on in St. James in Montego Bay?
No. The question is, what's not going on in St. James?
excuse
Ha ha ha.
Because
me.
everything goes on in St. James.
Yeah.
You see the head start,
Yes,
everything
Yes.
engaged now,
yes.
Everything goes on in St. James, my dear,
Mm-hmm.
because capital of St. James is Montego Bay. We all know
Mm-hmm.
Montego Bay is the mecca of tourism in Jamaica.
Yes.
Mecca.
Yes.
And in looking up some facts, we have the biggest, not biggest, well, it's the biggest airport on the island, of course, Donald Sanks International, but
Mm-hmm.
we have the busiest in the Caribbean,
Yes, that's true. Because it's the
welcoming
hub.
so many
Yes.
millions of
It's the
people
Mm-hmm.
per
hub.
People.
year.
I
Yes.
remember when they made
Yeah,
it the
Yeah.
hub.
passing through
Yeah.
there. So
Mm-hmm.
excuse me. So by virtue of, tourism and all that, and there's so many things in Montego Bay, so many attractions. Everybody from every other parish, Breadbasket Parish, St. Anne's, Clarendon, the people who have Milk River, St. Mary, we have the St. Mary banana chips and all them various things.
Yes.
Everybody comes to Montego Bay when it's time for some R&R, a little family getaway to one of the great tourist destinations, and the beaches, the nightlife. We got it all. St. James is just teeming with all these things. We got the
I
hip strip, you
just,
know,
yeah.
Margaritaville, all the hotels. I know St. Anne's have their hotels. I will not take it away from them, but
You
Montego Bay is
can't.
just buzzing. It's
You
just it's just buzzing with all sorts of goodies.
Oh
You
Lord.
haven't been to Jamaica if you have not stopped in the wonderful parish
If
of
you have
St.
not
James.
stopped in St. Anne,
Wow. So
Well,
let's.
I'm
so you
not
just
taking
stop me
anything
so.
away from St. Anne. But you can go to Jamaica and go Montego Bay and not go to St. Anne. And miss nothing much.
But
So
it's the same thing.
Well,
Like if
well,
you go
guess
to, you
what?
can go to,
It,
you can, go ahead, Max.
sorry, I was about to say, if you have most probably in a shirt because we have things too. Did you know that in September they have what they call a Codbury factory? I get Codbury factory.
Yes,
yes,
I
Yes,
please,
know
with
I've been
them.
there.
You
I've been
ladies know
there.
how us
with
women love
chocolate.
chocolate. Well, we have
Hmm.
we can boast of a Codbury factory. And by the way, in Richmond there's a prison.
Una prison. Uno can't keep on a workhouse. We don't want no workhouse.
So if we don't come there, you don't behave on yourself, we don't end up down in Richmond.
Some
You're
We
rich
get
prison
man.
locked up.
somewhere. Oh Lord, there's somewhere to put us.
Noble mention. Noble mention.
Not
Prison.
true.
All right. So Jackie, give us a few facts. So we'll drop them in spurts as we are also taking the comments from our audience. So Jackie,
Right.
Yes.
few pointers from you so we don't give away everything one time.
Yes,
No.
Right. Yeah.
Saint Anne is the largest parish in Jamaica in terms of landmass. Saint Anne is the largest parish, and that's where Los Columbus. I mean, Christopher Columbus.
Boy,
You
who's
know what?
calling him?
Los Columbus. Christopher
We-
Columbus arrived, and when he arrived in, actually, it's Discovery Bay, which they called Dry Harbor.
Mhm.
Then
hmm
Yes.
he was so amazed, so they say, with the place that he called it Santa Gloria. At first, Saint Anne was called um, not Saint Anne. It didn't say Saint Anne. It's Saint Annie's or Saint Anne. I need to look back on the paper. I'm not looking at it right now, but he called it Santa Gloria because the place
Mhm.
was so beautiful. And then
It
as he
was
went
glorious.
along, especially the coastline, he saw all these waterfalls and gardens and so on. And one big thing about it is that the Tainos that he came upon there were a lot of Tainos, and they actually went and met him on the boat on two canoes when he was coming into the harbor. So
hmm
that's just a little part of the story of St. Anne.
Okay, Max, you have
Yes.
something before I go ahead to share about Clarendon.
Okay, so you know what? I have my prettiest thing that I want to share right now. The musicians that are from St. Mary. Yes.
Go on, yeah,
We
Max.
have Minister Marion Hall,
Mhm.
aka Lady Saw.
I
She's from
sent
St.
and I
Mary.
sent Mary she come from.
Yes, sweetheart. Minister Marion Hall is from St. Mary. We also have
Okay.
Capleton.
She
She's from
named
Islington.
Marian, to make sure, but after
Mary
Marian is Marianne.
Marianne.
Marion Hall. Minister
You go on
Marion
your
Hall,
Max.
aka Lady Saw. Then
Yes.
we also have Capleton. Capleton, the fireman, is from
Fire,
Islington.
fire, yeah.
We have
Burn a fire.
Josie Wells. We all know Josie Wells was rocking it in the 80s and some great songs.
Yes.
He's from
Yes.
Anata Bay, St. Mary.
Okay.
And then we have the famous Beres Hammond. who is
Mm-hmm.
also, we know
Ah,
how many tours he did. Yes, he's from St. Mary. He's from Another Bay, which is an adjoining
yes.
district to me. Yeah. And of
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
course, how can we forget the famous Maxine Lyons,
Let's
who is
me
Hey,
say,
also
you
from
hey.
know,
St. Mary, who is
hi.
also a
Woohoo!
musician from
Yes,
St. Mary,
Max.
a reggae
Hi.
artist,
Go
a
on.
poet.
Yes, Max.
You
Aha.
see?
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
see it. We see it. We see it. We see it.
We see
Uh,
it.
of course. So we'd like to say good morning to. So Marie says she's representing St. Catherine. Herman. Me born a Clarendon. Uh, Vera says I'm representing Westmoreland.
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland. Oh, yeah. Quickly. Good morning. Long time. Mayor
Oh,
Westmoreland.
really?
Yes, bro. She come from Westmoreland. And Herming says she grew up at Linstead. Okay. Then she says I was born in Westmoreland in
Westmoreland.
Coffee Collie Gully, raised in
Coffee
Packetry
Collie.
runway to Kingston.
Run with the Kingston.
Jesus. A lot was going on there, Grit. All right. Hey, Lingerie. She's from Clarendon. Morning to you. She's watching from Connecticut. How nice. Share it for us now, Lingerie. Share it for us. Let people know so we are talking about with 14 parishes as best as we can. She says, I've been to Milk River Bath and Beach several times, of course. Okay, Charles is in the house. Angela. Morning, Angela. Clarendon, the best.
The best big up
Big up
penance.
penance, of course. That's where we were raised.
Yeah, back up, Lady D.
Me, I tell you. Okay, so just reminding everyone that we are talking about Fimi Parish nicer than yours.
Oh, what?
So just in case you all don't know, and you notice in the ad, I timed it perfectly so that the young woman could just, brag a little bit and things.
Yes.
Yes. So good morning. And if you're just joining us and you're wondering what we're going on here with, take a look.
When Jamaicans talk about their parish, one feels that no other parish can match up their own, and the remaining 13 parishes are not up to par. We boast about our rivers and caves, the breadbasket and orange walk, while others brag about famous people who come from Fidem Parish, and that Fimi Parish nicer than yours. All we know is that this is one country with interesting people. At Satideh Mawnin Runnings, come make we talk.
And as you are watching with us, what we're asking of you is you can share the link that you are watching from with at least 5 people and say, hey, you see this channel here, you don't want to miss it. At least 5 people, share it with your friends, family, and all your business associates and so on, and say, subscribe, no man, subscribe. We do great things over here on a Saturday morning for Saturday Morning Runnings. I can't remember. I just thought of it when I was doing something one Saturday. And I said, I could have something called Saturday Morning Runnings. And here we are years later. Now, to give you also a little scoop on the history of Clarendon. So, while you're all boasting about your hotels and so on, I'd like to let you know that Clarendon is Jamaica's 3rd largest parish in size behind St. Catherine and St. Anne. With the parish covering approximately 1,196 square kilometers, or them would I say kilometers. It is located on the southern half of the island and is bordered to the north by St. Anne, to the east by St. Catherine, to the west by Manchester, and to the south by the Caribbean Sea. I could also tell you that that is why historians have said that when flying over the parish, you will see Clarendon as a wide plain, Plain, laying behind the Carpenter's Mountain, which is in Manchester in the west, and the Brasilector Mountains in the east. I don't know who know about that. Then you have Mocha Mountains, 2,000 feet, and the Bullhead Mountain Range, 2,792 feet. And it's said to be the geographical center of the island.
Mhm.
And are to be, yes, are to be found, and are to be found in northern Clarendon. Clarendon has 5 major rivers. We have whole of 5. We have Milk River.
Mhm.
If you want a cup of milk like Max, you can go and get. Then we have the Rio Minor River, which growing up you would hear people call it Minor River. You know, we always have a derivative
Yeah,
or
Yeah,
something.
spoil everything.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Then you have the Pinders River, Cave River, and Thomas Rivers. Yesterday, Auntie Paula mentioned Thomas River, and for a moment I said, we know people. I wonder if there's an actual river. But after I started to do my research, yes, there is a Thomas River. So we have
Oh.
5 major rivers. I'll pause there for a moment because years back, when I started the show and I would do features on the parishes. And bearing in mind why I did it, it's because I know that a lot of people, as we were being raised in Jamaica, didn't have the opportunity to travel, go
Mhm.
experience the different parishes, and to be going to no hotel and no spa and nothing like that. You only heard
Tell
of
me
it,
about it.
but you never had the opportunity. So I had gone through the 14 parishes since I started the radio program. And it was so enlightening for myself and for many people who listened and were able to participate and say, oh, Lady D, I remembered so and so and so. So, but what stuck out for me, did you know that toll did start in a toll gate in
That what?
Clarendon, right?
Okay.
Toll. The
Really?
first,
That's why it's
Everything
so,
told.
called.
yeah. So listen to
That's why
toll
it's called
gate
toll
because
gate.
I was doing something and it popped up in my research then. And
Uh-huh.
when I shared it, I'm like, and you know how I'm fascinated with donkey and something already. But another apparent tolling station was established at what is now known as Tollgate, a community in Clarendon, and it is believed that this is how the district got its name. Tollgate in those
Mhm.
days was a privately owned estate whose owners charged peasants who walked across their land.
Oh wait,
So,
I said.
yes, please.
If you
So,
if
yeah,
you
people
walk,
would yes. So if you
Well,
have your donkey, you're going to market, you're going wherever, you have to pay to cross through the people them property. So that's how Tollgate got its name. And if you look back at it,
interesting.
Interesting.
you have to pay a toll.
Yes.
So see there. So
yeah,
But
what's
it
the
tolls,
makes sense.
yes,
tolls
Pete?
are a thing. Tolls are a thing now. A lot
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
down there.
But
And it brings in earnings, right?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
brings in earnings to
Yeah,
to
but
um
given the
road
fact
for
that
road
that they
repairs and stuff.
mhm.
right, I was gonna say because the upkeep and all that is really it's really I can't say fascinating. It's really good that riding into because when I was in Jamaica in the summer, well summer just done yesterday, but what is it? In July to August, I actually did a road trip. I went through to Kingston and then from Kingston went to Clarendon all on the same day and
Mm-hmm.
came back around, the other side. So it was a very pleasant drive because I kind of miss going through some of the towns, like before you could go through some of the smaller
Mhm.
towns.
You're in the back
People
road.
tend to say
Mm-hmm.
villages, but
Mm-hmm.
you could go to the different communities. But now you're just going straight, pretty much, because you're on the toll road. And to me, it
Mm-hmm.
looked like, to me, I think we must have paid like 4 tolls. But
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we did
it's, yeah,
so.
but the roads are in immaculate conditions. They have done really an
Absolutely.
excellent job. Yeah, so it's very convenient
And
for
now they just
everybody.
opened the South Coast segment.
Yes, they had that opening
Yeah,
about
that
two
Yes.
looks
weeks ago.
pretty.
Yeah, but
I've
normally
seen a
I
lot of
travel too.
posts.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a
Because
lot
I,
of posts on
Normally
it. It's
I too.
beautiful.
yeah.
When we were there in June, we traveled too. We drove from Manchester to St. Mary. We didn't go through Kingston. We went through
Mm-hmm.
St. Anna. It was a nice tour. It was a nice scene. We had to pay
Mm-hmm.
quite a. I think we paid about 3 or 4 tolls too.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
roads were excellent, so you could just drive and get a
Mm-hmm.
good sightseeing. We went through a few little towns here and there too. We
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they even had a stop. There was even a stop. I think it was in St. Anne where you could stop and
Mm-hmm.
get, just like America. You could get coffee and tea and sandwiches. I thought I was in America for a minute. It was nice.
Oh
It
yeah.
wasn't all that fancy, but it was just
Uh-huh.
nice. It was a nice rest stop where buses and
Yeah,
everybody stop and get in St.
yeah,
Anne.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing rest stops and all that stuff now. You're
Amazing.
not
Yes,
missing anything because it's geared
I see
towards,
that. Yeah, I
yeah, a
experienced
lot of,
that. 'Cause we got hot dog and drinks, when
uh-huh.
we were traveling. So we had a nice
Wow.
little drive too, and the roads were really good. They're
Yeah,
very windy but nice because they're brand new highways and byways.
yeah, very
That's
nice.
right.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
still have access to these small towns because you can veer off of the highway
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
onto the small towns if
Mm-hmm.
you still want to see.
Yeah, because
One town that I liked, like coming in between Montego Bay and St. Anne, was Falmouth. And the last time I was there, I wasn't able to go through Falmouth, and I said, next time I go, I want to go through Falmouth to see. I just liked the quaintness of Falmouth. I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
I don't know how much it has changed, but it had a little historic, look
It's
to it,
still,
and
it's still, I went to
I
Falmouth.
liked
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
still, yeah. They have improved on, I mean, on everything. And now, although we are from different parishes and we are extolling the many virtues of our parish,
Mm-hmm.
it has been made now so convenient for trade and visiting and commerce, everything that you can
Yes.
intersect and go
Which is
through,
good.
of course,
Which
because we
is
are
good.
interdependent, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yes.
So
not
it's
because
very
we
good that,
we might be talking so much about our own parishes that doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the other parishes or what they have to offer or what
Mm-hmm. Of
the
course.
right.
beauty of them, because I do love visiting. I like to travel, and especially being home. And when I was working with the tourist board, TPD co, that was one thing we had to do. I was a supervisor at the TPD co, and I had to plan like trips for the information officers that we had at the time to go visit places, because if
Mm-hmm.
they are going to be giving information to
You
visitors to
have to
our
know about
country,
it.
you need to know about it. And that was one
Of
of the best
course.
things for me to do, is to plan these trips for them to go visit different and at that
Mm-hmm.
time they were building, along with the sustaining the environment and tourism, that was a set program. They were rebuilding like some of these places that you can go to now, the attractions like the rivers and so on. They were making them into attractions that people could come and visit and spend more time. And I think
Mm-hmm.
they foresaw that a lot of Jamaicans who live abroad were going to come back as tourists,
Right.
and they
Hmm.
Right.
wanted to enjoy something,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like
And,
that
and
from
you
their
know,
own
and you know
country.
what's a big thing now also is the hotels in my neck of the woods there in Montego Bay, they now have, I'm not sure if it probably is seasonal or whatever. Let me not venture off into that because I'm not sure. But they now run specials for residents.
Yes,
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they've been
yeah.
doing that.
If you go to Jamaica like an off peak when it's not summer, like some in Jamaica don't have no summer. They say, oh, it's summer. But like for us,
Uh-uh.
if we don't go summer, say you go fall here, you say, okay, they have specials now for the residents
Yes.
where
Right.
where 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 they come down. to Montego Bay. Like when I say come down, I'm thinking Kingston or whatever, wherever. They come to Montego Bay and they can enjoy a rate that is feasible for them, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the same amenities, you know, all inclusive and all those
Right.
services that the visitors will enjoy. On the
Mm-hmm.
off peak, they have thrown it out now to residents who can then book a weekend or book a week, and they just come into the city, because you know Montego Bay is the second city that we got that status in 1980. Remember, anybody remember that?
Yes,
Lord,
I remember that.
They can
I
come
will
into
never
the
forget that.
Yes, ma'am.
city and enjoy all the wonderful attractions.
And it makes
So
sense
Mm-hmm.
because we, one, we're always sending money home, right? And
right,
then
Yes.
we send money home and then we're investing there. There are people who are
right,
building their properties and so on for investment, not necessarily to go back and to reside there. So we're still very integral into the commerce and everything that's
Oh
going
oh
on.
yes.
yeah, oh
And
yeah,
Absolutely.
when we go there, we are spending the money.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
So
We're not only
they
spending the
had
money,
to.
we sell it. We sell tourism because when we go, we take picture and we take videos and we
Same
post
way.
and bring it
Oh.
back and put it on
Right,
social media. So we're
right.
always promoting.
So
And,
I'm appreciative that they actually reassessed how tourism is branded,
oh yeah,
Yes.
not only to non nationals,
right,
right? But
right,
to your people who born and come there, who have left the country, still
right,
going back and forth and have their
uh-huh,
money to spend. Because
right,
Mm-hmm.
right there on the island, there's always a conversation that people who live in Jamaica and you from time to time want to take a weekend off at a hotel or something, there is some kind of a discrimination that they encounter,
that used to be the
Encounter,
case
yes.
for
right?
years. Yeah.
yeah. They
Because
they
people
fought
feel
that down though.
yes, they have to
Oh
shut that
yes.
down.
Yeah,
Because how can you, if I'm living there and I want to take a weekend, why you think I shouldn't be offered the
Exactly.
same
right,
treatment as everybody else and are paying the money,
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
right.
right? So I'm glad
After
that
all, you pay. After all, you pay your taxes. So why shouldn't you?
same so.
Yeah, it's your island, it's your country. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you
And
you
people
Mm-hmm.
should
come
be
there
you
and
should be
enjoy
able
it more
to.
than you.
Yeah, you should be able to go. And like sometimes living well with me growing up in the parish, going to the beach and hotels and stuff was a thing because it was like always right there. It's one of the things that we did. And then with my mother and her siblings all being abroad, my uncles all being abroad, my cousins, most of them all being abroad, we look forward to whenever they came. They would then, not only would they like stay at the homestead, but depending on how many of them came at a time, we can't fit. So they would
Right.
have hotel, and then we would get a chance to go into a hotel for a couple of days, and that was kind of a big thing because
Mm-hmm.
it's not your
Yeah.
normal thing to do. And I'm talking about, this is like 30 some plus years back.
Forever.
Not
And
even
let's not
30 something,
forget
40 something, 40,
years.
40 some odd. Because I remember when I had this uncle in London. He's my mother's oldest sibling, and he had left Jamaica from the time them I leave on steamer ship. Him leave before
Mhm.
airplane. And
Ah,
and so when he came back, he was very British. He was extremely, I mean, he had no more accent, barely, barely. But anyway, he was one of those sophisticated gentlemen. He is one of them. I've never, I mean, no, a man purse is a big thing. He was carrying a man purse back in the day because
Mm-hmm.
he would have all his essentials and stuff. But he would come and he would take all of us and say, "Look, we're going into town." Back then, we would say we are going to be, because we lived
Mm-hmm.
on, we
mm-hmm.
lived 5 miles out of town. So he would say, "Come, we are going to be," and we would all head down. We'd be in the fancy restaurant. nice hotel and all that. So that was, can you imagine as a little kid, now you're in a primary school, you can't go back Monday morning and say, guess what, we don't have no camera, we take no picture if you can go show. But not even that. He used to carry Instamatic cameras that would take
Yes,
your
I
pictures.
remember
I
those.
mean, I
Right.
literally right now I can get up and pick up Instamatic photos that I still have here that was taken. He would just take the picture and it just roll out. You fan it
Yes.
till
And
it
find it.
catch, and then
Yes.
you have your picture. But you
Yes.
were able to
I
to
remember those.
enjoy. Yeah, you were able
Yes.
to enjoy some of these amenities, and I know that only went for a very few people. So when you can really indulge now in the attractions and all the hotels, because
Right.
let me tell you, man, there are so many hotels and attractions and places.
Antoinette, I
You're
don't mean
not
to
missing
cut you,
anything. What a
Mhm.
but
Jackie?
but let's not forget that it's not just the hotels that
No.
create this atmosphere for people who are coming and looking for a home. Like, how about the villas? People have turned their homes into
Into
villas, or they
villas.
have
Hmm.
they
Yes.
have designated villas that people just, because one of the times when we went down, was when Natty was getting married, a whole bunch of us went down and we just wanted a house. So we got
Uh-huh.
a lovely villa in Cardiff Hall, Runaway Bay, and we had our own pool, we had our kitchen, we had the maids, it was lovely. It was a
Yeah. That's
beautiful,
still,
Hmm.
yeah.
family affair. Yeah.
Yeah, a
So
good friend
those
of
are
mine,
Yeah.
awesome.
a lot of them came down in June, and they had a celebration for their mom who was celebrating a milestone birthday, and they got like two villas, and she was blown away because they had butler service, they
Yes.
had this, they had that, and they really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
it's good that those things are open and available for people who are
And
traveling.
And another thing, those things way back in the day, it used to be like mostly along the coast, maybe from, say, let's say Portland, come down St. Mary, St. Anne, right back to Montego Bay and Negril, maybe. But now
Uh-huh.
you can find this all over the island.
Oh
You
yeah.
can
Everywhere.
find this kind of
Everywhere.
Yes.
accommodation
Yes.
Yeah.
and amenities all over the island, not
Yeah.
just on the coast where you have like the tourists used to come
Uh-uh.
and rent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's not. So
And
Because
that's
if I,
really
if
you
I
have
may
lovely.
something.
speak a little,
Uh-huh.
Go
so
ahead,
I was
Matt.
going to say, if I may boast a little bit about Manchester, because I said before I'm from Kingston, St. Mary, and Manchester.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
Manchester, I spent quite a few years there. I went to college there, and after I got married, I returned and lived there for some years before I came to America. And Manchester now is the parish known where most returning residents are going, are living.
Yes.
And one
Yes.
of the things is that
Yeah.
Manchester is known as the cool parish. The
Yeah.
Hmm.
temperature boasts of a nice, relaxing atmosphere. We all know that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So a lot of returning
Yeah.
residents are going there. And let me tell you, when I
Yes.
was there in June, Norman and I, there are some beautiful homes there. Me say,
Oh yeah.
on person have nothing when they come to
I'm joking.
the houses
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
But
I'm
no, I
telling
Yeah.
you,
understand. Yes. Yeah,
It's true.
I
Yes.
do.
there
I've
I do
seen
people,
them,
and
man.
understand.
I
It's
mean,
true.
these homes are on the hills
Oh
overlooking.
yeah.
My
Very stately.
sister-in-law is,
Oh yeah.
huh?
Yeah, they're
My sister-in-law
beautiful.
is presently building her house there because she's returning. She's there right now. She's building a house in a place called Moorland. Let me tell you
Hmm.
something, ladies. Parish have nothing for Moorland. The
Yeah.
homes there, the walls alone cost money. Just the walls that are wrapped around some of these homes is enough money. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
the homes are big, beautiful on the hill. The yards are well kept. Everything is just
Yeah.
the flowers. Everything is like, I couldn't stop looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supermarket,
Uh-huh.
supermarket's huge. The
Yeah.
whole
I
town
want
is
to
so
do an
built out now
island
that you
tour when
can
I
barely
go
find
back.
place to walk.
Yeah,
I
man.
want to do
Well,
It's
an
that
it's
that's
island
it's
what
tour.
yeah.
that's what they're saying is
Yes,
that
when
Mandeville is like so congested.
yes, it
That's
is
why the
very congested.
highway. That's
Hmm.
why the
Yeah.
Yes,
highway. I think that's why they
yes,
have
it's
the
real.
highway coming through or something like that to
Yeah,
Yes, they have
they're
a nice
making
highway. Yes,
bypasses and stuff because even in Montego Bay they're doing well, it's in the works. I don't know when it's gonna come to fruition, but they're thinking of doing one to bypass like Freeport out to
yeah,
Iron Shore. Because right now to go into town, the congestion is a real
congestion.
thing. That's why now they're
Yeah.
having,
yes,
the street lights, the stop lights now are a big thing.
Mhm.
because you have to coordinate some kind of way for people to move
Yes.
around more efficiently, because a lot is taking place there, and
And you
it's
need
Yes.
really good.
yes, and you need people to be able to come in and flow easily, because
Yeah.
Right.
no sense you having the infrastructure in place and you're not
If
getting
there's
the
no road.
support. The businesses are going to
Yes.
be affected because people will say, I can't bother go down there so because I have nowhere to park and all of that.
Yes. Yeah,
But
And then
that
I
is
Yes.
think
definitely an issue in
yes.
the town of Mandeville, but
Hmm.
it's overbuilt. If it's too built up now, if you ask me, the town I'm talking about. There's
Because
so many new
remember,
businesses. When I got there, I was
rem-
wondering if I was in the same parish. So many
remember
new
when those
businesses, beautiful, but
when
the
those
congestion is
towns,
just too
right,
much.
when those towns were created, it wasn't created to accommodate a whole heap of people. So the roads
no.
are narrow, and
Yeah.
the design was a little bit different.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
why,
But
as
we
we
are,
evolve and things are
hmm,
getting more modernized, and now you
yes.
have more people returning home and enjoying
absolutely.
then they have to expand and they have to change all these infrastructure, and it costs money.
Uh-huh.
It costs money and it takes
Yeah,
time, because sometimes you're gonna
absolutely.
have to cut into people's property just to make a road. So you're gonna have to
Yeah.
buy the property or come in
Hmm.
agreement with this. So everything
Right.
takes time. Sometimes some
Right.
people they don't have any patience to wait for certain things to happen, but it can't just happen overnight. You can't just go cut through somebody's property.
No,
Absolutely, yes.
You have
there
No.
are
Uh-huh.
the
right.
legal wranglings for that.
Yeah, there are
Hmm.
a lot of
Yeah.
legal wranglings,
Hmm.
like as Lady D
Hmm.
Yeah.
says, when
Yeah.
it
and
comes on
and
to
that's
stuff
why
like
that's
that.
why too. Yeah, that's why too, in the past several years, people can no longer bury their dead on their land. Back in the day,
Yes,
if somebody passed, you just
you
want to
could.
bury, you say bury him right there, so you
Yeah.
Hmm.
can't do that anymore, because
Hmm.
they have plans that are years in the making, and
Yes.
sometimes they know that the possibility exists that at some point they're gonna have to
Hmm.
possibly get acquire land that is now owned by somebody else, and you can't very
Yeah.
well lift up your dearly departed and say
And when the
you
No.
can't steer right
statistics,
yourself.
when you have people like
Yes.
at the
Hmm.
statistical institute and the government or whatever, they have an idea how the growth is going to be 10 years down the road based
Right.
on what's happening
Yeah.
now. They have
They
to
look at the
prepare.
trends and stuff. Yeah.
They have to
Yeah.
prepare in
Yes.
advance.
Hmm. And
So
then, we have to maintain um
it's a
the
feasibility.
the ease of how commerce is done, because goods and services have to be moving back and forth.
Right.
You
Uh-huh.
need to know that you're stable. So even when we consider like having shopkeepers in our community, right? We would see the trucks coming in and out and dropping off the
Right.
goods and
The
all of
goods.
that.
Yeah.
But at some point in time, some of those things have shifted. They were mostly going now into the major towns because they found it so difficult traveling all the way up to the more remote parts of the island to be dropping off
Mm-hmm.
10 bag of sugar and what have you. It
Hmm.
wasn't economically viable. So that's why you find that they're building up the towns and the city centers so much. And they know that people will not want to stay in their communities forever. Not
Community
many
and shop.
people.
Yes. Yes.
So people are going to move out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And we are seeing that. We see that in with the road. When I remember when the Highway 2000 project came into being, I was working with the St. Elizabeth Homecoming Foundation as a project. And at one of the board meetings, here came the presentation of the project. And I saw you could only sit there and say, oh my goodness, this is something that's actually going to happen. They had
Uh-huh.
the video where they showed you
Hmm.
the toll booths, the road where it's going to connect to, how many other bypasses they were going to be creating, all of that. And that was how much years ago,
I'll go.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
right?
And
It's
now
And
just
it's a
happening now.
reality.
and see they slowly rolled it out.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
And I
reality. Yeah.
remember when everybody was saying, oh, when we drive over the causeway, all of that now became a new face. They moved the people who were
Yeah.
living along. Remember all of that mess, having to
Yeah.
move the
Uh-huh.
people. So
Hmm.
as
Yeah.
as you grow, it dictates that
Yeah.
you're going to have to make changes, and the changes in the process are
Absolutely.
not going to be easy, because you're
No.
talking about manpower, you're talking about relocating people, all of
People.
those things.
And some of
And
it,
Yeah.
you have to, the people who are the powers that be, who are doing these kind of infrastructure and work, they have to wait for contributions or money, special
Grants.
projects,
Yes.
monies
grants.
that
Grants.
will
Yeah.
help them to do these projects, because sometimes you live into a district and nobody in the district have light, everybody have light, and nobody in the district paying light bill.
Yeah.
So if they're not paying that light bill, say them not paying
Right.
taxes. They're not paying
Yeah.
taxes. And what you think the taxes go towards?
Yes.
Building your roads, building infrastructure, whatever. So sometimes it's a foreign entity that contributes the funds to do these projects, and they have to wait until they get, and in the meantime they have to acquire the property that they're going to go through all the
Yeah, it's
legal papers.
contracts,
And
it's
the
contracts and
surveillance.
contracts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because surveillance has to be done to
Yeah.
be sure that this is something that's going to be sustainable. The soil, all of those things, you have to consider.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everything coming to
Yeah.
play.
The environmental impact.
Indeed.
You
Yeah.
have to, because that's a big thing now. I'm
Yep.
just praying to God that all these places are building up, and the building is happening really fast. I hope as fast as they're building, they're planting. I know that the Prime Minister has
Yes.
a designated amount of trees that he wants planted by a certain time. So I'm just hoping that everybody catches on to that. Because
Right.
when you look at
Yes.
what's happening in some of these countries with the floods and whatever, you look at the
Yeah.
landscape, you can tell that
Right.
there are no trees, there's nothing to to hold back
To hold the
Right.
soil. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
soil when it's
Oh,
coming
the soil.
down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
don't want to be in that. We
Because
don't want to be.
my organization, Good Neighbors, we also are under that tree planting project,
I
and
like that.
and they actually go down and plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
So at some point, we live here, we have to invest there.
Yes.
We don't know what can happen at any given time,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh yeah.
where we have
Very
to cut,
important. Yeah.
where we have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
cut and run.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
unfortunately, we see
You
so
know,
many people
if
crossing
we
the
can run
border.
fast enough.
And those people, I'm not knocking them or anything for trying to cross the border, but a lot of their own people have come to this country, and they haven't even given back to their country. I don't want to judge, but you hear people say things. I have to give credit to the Jamaicans who have come here, and remittance is one of the biggest
Yes.
business commerce in
Yes.
Jamaica.
Yeah, but you know
Because
what?
we give
The
back
thing
to
with
our
us,
country.
the thing with Jamaicans is, I would dare to say, we are coming here of necessity. We are coming here with an aim in view. We're not
Yeah.
coming
Yes.
the majority, I would say. Can't talk toward everybody. You're not coming here for the bright lights and the big city and the this and the that. You're coming with an aim in view. You're coming. I remember say, watcha, me have one little square of land around there, so me have
Yes.
so and so down there, so when me get so and so, me I go do so and so down there, so. And
Oh,
you start a political thing, and you have, because I tell people you have coming here and getting acclimated to this society, working and everything. You have to have something to keep you going. I remember one time my
Yes.
very first job, I was the only person, as they would say, of color in there. And
They,
when one of the man say, "Oh, where you from?" He said, "Jamaica." He said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I've
I've
been to."
heard that.
He said, "I've been to Jamaica. It's beautiful. If I lived there, I wouldn't leave it. This and the third, and talk and talk and talk." So they look at it that way. That is why I'm saying, we come here, we have an aim in view. You're not snow, you're not cold, you're not some unfit conditions, and you are pressing your way forward because say in the back of your mind you have a plan, and you're
Yes.
going to do this
Right.
and you're going to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, why
and
you
and they
think
keep you
Jamaicans are
going
known?
until such time.
Hold on, this sounds like a different show. But anyway, why you think Jamaicans are known to have 2 or 3 jobs? First, when
Hello,
I came here, you tell somebody you're from
talk
They
to
Jamaica,
hate
say,
me.
us
"Oh,
for that.
how many jobs you have?" That was the
Talk the
question
They
that
truth.
was
hate us
posed
for
to
that.
me. At the time, I had
They
2
hate us for
jobs.
that.
Yes,
So
yes.
They can't stand with for that.
Me know. They say we don't
But
sleep.
that's another show. I'm
Sure,
trying to
that's
say
It
another
that.
is.
show.
Another
It
show.
is.
We need to create a show of that. But let me tell you some people who are from St. Anne. Burning Spear. You know Burning Spear?
Yes,
Burning
dear.
Yes.
Spear. Busy Signal. Brian Art, I don't know who Brian Art is. Romaine Virgo is from St. Anne. Rashawn Daly. Rashawn Daly may not mean anything to you, but Rashawn Daly, I remember when he was born. He is a big football player here, a soccer player, I should say, here in the United States. And he plays for a team out there in Tennessee now. I know his mother, she and I are still good friends. I spoke to her day before yesterday. Rashawn just had a new baby. But Rashawn Daly is an up and coming big soccer player right here in America. He's from St. Anne. Who else is Shabba my cousin? Bob
Shaba.
Marley, the big great Bob
Max the
Marley.
Prince action.
And you may know the song we say it must be a dopey or a gunman, right? That's Ernest Smith. Ernest Smith wasn't really born in St. Anne. He was actually born in Kingston, but he grew up in St. Anne and just a stone's throw from my mother's house, and my mother even knew him well, and but we know the house that he lives and all of that. So those are some of the people some famous people that we know.
All right. So now I can break out my list now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
go
ma'am.
right ahead.
So now I'm
ahead.
burning
Marcus,
spear.
I forgot Marcus Garvey. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Oh my God, I forgot Marcus.
Hello.
I shouldn't.
Yes,
Actually,
it's from St. Anne, yeah.
he should have been the
Because
I
first.
did an
me
article
about
on it, yeah.
me about to lick with my Sam Sharp, you know.
Sure.
Oh,
Okay. Sam Sharp, national hero. Then
yes.
we have Aaliyah Atkinson,
Oh,
Olympian swimmer. Remember her?
really?
All
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Kenneth Ball was a minister of health.
Yes. I know Ken
And
Ball.
of course, we had second fastest man as of 2011, Johan Blake.
Johan.
Johan Blake. Then,
Oh,
of course,
Yes.
we have the harder they come, Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy Cliff.
Jimmy
Go.
Yes.
Cliff. And might I say, he's an inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
Rock
as
and
of
Yes.
Hall of Fame,
2010.
yes, I
Yes.
know that.
Yes.
Yes,
Howard
please.
Cook. Howard Cook, after whom one of our highways in Montego Bay was named. He was a former
Yes.
Governor General of Jamaica.
General. Yes.
Yes.
Right, and everybody know the Eldemeyers. Herbert Eldemeyer, politician. He was a doctor. He became the
Yes.
Minister of Health. And then
Yes.
we have Chief Justice of Jamaica. Yeah, but this goes back to the 1960s. Roland Phillips. We have Max Romeo, the famous reggae musician. And we have a football player too, you know, Atlanta Falcons, Corey Ballantyne.
Oh, what you
Yeah.
say?
Yes. And we got Ruby Turner, who is an actress. And we have a boxer too. Nicholas Walters is a boxer.
Oh,
So come
there's
in, St. James. Come in.
an
Sure.
actor.
We are
His
from
name
all
is.
walks of life.
Oh my goodness, my
St.
sister is gonna
James
have to tell me
Dyer,
his
St.
name.
James Dyer.
Lindo.
We there, Max. We there.
Oh, you have company. I'm sure. See Pauline here. Pauline from church.
Montego Bay, the beautiful
Finally.
second
Thank you,
city.
Pauline.
Lord
We need
Pauline,
your strength, girl.
And Jennifer
big
says
up
she's
your back
enjoying.
up.
Jennifer
Not
says she's
true.
enjoying the chat. And good morning, Tamika. Good morning. Okay, so I will get to. So let me see who may have on my list, yes or no. Because so much fame, we must about have 1 million people on this list.
No,
Lord,
sir.
she need a part
Bring
two
them
to
on.
put Fearless out.
All right, so let me see now. So we
Sean
have
Kingston. I forgot Sean Kingston is from St. Anne too.
so
I know his
Clarendon.
people.
Roll call. Make we do the roll call. So we have Everton Blender. You know him, he's a singer.
Lord,
We have
Yeah.
Yes.
Barrington Levy,
Yes.
Lord,
One
Ioctane.
blood.
Hi, Octane. Yeah.
Yes.
I have been, I
Prince
follow him on
Jasbo.
Instagram.
That's Prince Jasbo.
Yes.
He died in 2013. Carleen Davis.
Ah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. Glenn Washington.
You're not favorite to you know.
Glenn
Yeah.
Washington. Coco T.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Eddie Fitzroy. He passed in 2017.
Oh, yeah, my Eddie Fitzroy,
Yes,
yeah.
I know he
Yes.
passed away. Yeah.
Dwight Sibbles.
Yes,
Yes.
siblings, yeah.
Yes. Wandy Bolas, hello.
Okay.
One
Yes.
the ballers.
Hello. History right there. Millie Small.
But by the way, one the ballers is a place too.
Yes, there's a name. It was
There's a
named
place
after
called
him.
One the Ballers.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, there is a place.
Also Freddie McGregor.
Okay.
Freddie.
Freddie
Big ship.
McGregor. And not
Big
to
ship, big
mention the infamous Claude McKay.
Oh
Yes.
wow, yeah.
The
Like
writer.
Claude
Yeah.
McKay.
Poet.
Yes, he was 1890 to 1948. Davina Bennett, who just had an interview. You know Davina, right?
No.
Okay. So she was Miss Jamaica Universe.
Oh.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
I
So
remember
she
her.
had, she was a pageant contestant, and she just had an interview, a very touching interview with Simone Clark out of TVJ on her program. Then we had Merciless.
All
Yes,
right.
he died too. Yeah, he
Mhm.
passed away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winston Griffiths. We had a whole heap of people. Let me see who else we know. Cutty Ranks.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh.
remember Cutty Ranks.
Peter Bunting, yes, who is in politics,
Politics.
Dalton Harris, he was one of those entries in, he entered the singing
Musical
competition.
contest.
Yes,
Singing competition. Yes.
Yes, so we've had quite a few people here. Yeah, so we are boasting. I noticed the chat is not
And how
sharing
could we forget the famous lady Denise Gomez?
Oh,
How could
Right.
we put yourself in it?
You know, I thank you. I tell you that me not brand myself well.
Well, you need to.
Right. From Kingston and Clarendon.
Dean Hemmings. You remember the runner, Dean Hemmings? Dean Hemmings
Yes,
from
man.
Brownstown, Tenton. Yeah.
Yes.
Robert
Dean
Nesta
Hemmings.
Marley, of course.
So I just
Chesbeck,
wanted to
Jackie
share
Too,
quickly
Jackie Me Too.
something.
Remember?
Right.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
just wanted to share because everybody talk about their falls.
Yes,
Who
ma'am.
have falls falling. But I do have falls in Clarendon.
Jackie was talking about falls just for the record. Me and Max never say a word about falls. Not you, Max.
But on have river, on have famous river.
No fall.
When them
I didn't even talk
rafting.
about our rivers because our
Yeah.
beaches are just so many. I just left the rivers to y'all.
Montego Bay don't have a lot of beaches.
Who?
Yeah,
What you talk about?
You have a long beach. One long beach.
You,
You have a
no,
lot
no,
of beach.
no, no. You
Kingston
need
have
to
a
visit,
lot of
sister.
beaches.
Oh
You
dear.
need to
Port of
visit, honey.
I have a beach in my parish too.
Let me
There's
start.
Robbins Bay.
Hello, can I Cree? I can cry
Yeah.
Cree. I'd like to cry Cree here.
Crying out. Let me see.
Cree. All right. So
No, sir. Why am I
many
show off
people-
in the parish them?
me telling you. So a lot of people may not consider Clarendon, in terms of any fall or anything like that or adventure. We have a lot of historic background, but it is a parish which has been on, a lot of people's mind and people have explored over time. So, let me share with you about Brayhead Falls. So there
Greyhead?
is Brayhead.
Oh, Bray. Brayhead.
Bray,
Okay.
BRAE. So
Never heard of that one.
So you
Never
can,
heard of
yes,
that
man.
one.
So there is Brayhead. You can approach Brayhead from Christiana for visitors coming from the western end of Jamaica. And if so, you'll reach Trout Hall. Then I don't know if you've heard of Trout Hall.
I've heard
I've
about
heard.
Trout Hall.
Right. So you'll reach Trout Hall first, and then you have to drive a bit more eastward to reach Brayhead.
Trout Hall
And
was a famous place, for us. It's
So,
Trout Hall.
and you've
Orange
heard
juice.
of Crooked River, Summerfield, Chapelton.
Yes.
You have taken a view of Chapelton in the back. That's where I'm broadcasting from this morning.
All right.
So you're looking at
Satideh,
our clock
Jamaica.
tower right there. You're looking at our famous Catholic church right there, and then my primary school, Chapelton Primary, is right over the adjacent to that. Yeah. So when you go, so Brayhead. All right. So let me give it to you properly. so that we don't get um, lost here. Uh-huh. Okay. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. So, um,
Bray head.
yes, if you're looking at Brayhead, Jackie, there is a Brayhead. But where my information is about the fall. Come on now to me.
Oh, the falls.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of it?
Brayhead,
Oh, Bray head.
Brayhead Waterfall. Yes. Uh-huh.
Is it major? Is it an attraction, or you just?
Yes, it's an attraction. People have.
Oh,
Oh, my something turn. Yes, people have gone there. Oh, come on.
Bray
The
head
thing.
falls in Clarendon.
Yes, where it
Bray
is.
head falls in
Read it for me,
Clarendon.
Jackie. Read the Catherine.
Clarendon is not a parish which comes to mind when you think of the Jamaican adventure, but it's a parish which has been on my mind to explore for nearly 2 years as an adventurer. Somebody else is writing this,
Right, somebody
adventurous
else
nature
wrote that.
lover. Clarendon is a parish in Jamaica's south coast, in the center of the island, and has a population of 246,000 people. Most of them reside in and around Maypen or Vere Plains or the Vere Plains. I have family there. Is Clarendon is bordered by St. Ann. Okay, I'll leave out that part and move down. You have the Milk River Bath and the recently crash landed plane of Rocky Point on Rocky Point. Crash landed plane.
Yeah, that was some time back.
Rocky Point. Okay, so I'll skip over that. Crooked River of Trout Hall, just because Brayhead isn't on the map of Jamaica, here's how to find this remote corner of Jamaica. Before we get into the article, please check out. No, we're not looking
No,
at that.
you're not reading all of that.
Brayhead can be approached from the Christiana section for visitors coming from the western end of Jamaica. If so, you will reach Trout Hall first and have to drive a bit more eastward to reach Brayhead. However, today my trip starts at Maypen. All right, I'll skip that. Then they show a picture. I'm not only Jamaican with a love for waterfalls. Me too. One of my main local travel inspirations is Lily from Nature's Sweet Escape. No. I
No,
need
so
to know
maybe
about
you're
Brayhead.
reaching, but I had found something and I don't know where it gone. But yes, we do have the Brayhead Falls in Clarendon. So if at any time anybody want to go check it out, it's picturesque, it's nice, and you need to go
Yeah, I think they were
take a
just telling
trip
you how
there.
to find it,
Yeah. But
where
I
it's
had found
located.
something that gave me the information. I'm not sure where it turned.
Okay,
Yeah. But just for informational purposes, ladies
right.
and
It's right
gentlemen.
to Brayhead.
Mm-hmm. Sharon's. Oh, for a moment I thought you froze.
no, I'm not
Okay.
frozen. I'm listening intently.
Okay. So
But
Pauline,
Come
that's
in
one
and
of
it's
Pauline,
the
Pauline.
1 minute,
Hello.
Jackie.
apparently.
1 minute, Jackie.
Oh,
Pauline is providing. Thank you, Madam P,
Thank
for
you, Pauline.
participating. She says St. James is noted for its fine beaches: Greenwood, Rose Hall, Iron Shore, Maho Bay,
Yes.
Aquasol Theme Park,
Yes.
Doctor's Cave, Cornwall Beach, Montego,
Hello.
Freeport, and Shipping Gardens, just to
Just
name
to
a
name a
few.
few.
oh,
Yeah.
So
no,
there.
shipping port on a
What
beach.
boasting is?
Hello. Hold on. And while we're on this topic, hold on. Montego Bay, popular tourist destination. We feature duty-free shopping, cruise line terminal, where we just mentioned beaches and resorts. We will not belabor those points. We have Donald Sanks International Airport. And for those people who cannot get rid of the macchiato and the cappuccino and the frappuccino, we have the first Jamaican location of Starbucks.
Oh,
Okay, it's located right smack dab outside of the of Doctor's Cave Beach. We have Hard Rock Cafe,
we
and
don't
we
want to
have
that.
a lot of employment opportunities for many Fortune 500 companies, including Delta, Netflix, and Vistaprint. So you do have those American
Yeah,
companies that
I
have
use this to print from
call
Jamaica.
centers down there. And what I like, because I have folks, family who work for one of them, and they do give them like the American holidays. They do give it to them off, and they get to celebrate all this stuff. And I really, really like, really like the inclusiveness of how they do.
Yeah.
And of course, don't forget our tertiary institutions. You know, we got UWI campus, Western Jamaica campus, and University of Technology, UTech, Montego Bay campus, Sam Sharp Teachers College,
Yes,
Montego
ma'am.
Bay Community College of, that I went to and all of that stuff.
Oops.
And don't forget, we had
Lord.
our railway station. It gone now from 1992, but we did have our railway station, carry
Yes.
right
We
into
did have to.
Kingston. That not true. That we
Yeah, we had
I
it in
was
St. Mary too.
frequently
I
on that.
traveled on the railway station in St. Mary when I was a
I
child.
did that with my
From
grandmother
Aggie to
several times a
Spanish Town
year.
with my granny.
All right
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Hey.
So no matter with me.
Hey. We have Mystic Mountain and Dolphin Cove too.
I was wondering, I was gonna put them in fire, Jackie. I'm
And
say, Jackie,
and
must
Margaritaville.
you must come up with those because those are really nice places. I have pictures of being up on Mystic Mountain. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And by
It's
the
So,
way, we have
beautiful.
and
snack.
we
We
have
have St.
Free
Mary
Hill.
banana chips where everybody buy.
I put that in for you, Max. Don't forget, I gave you
Yeah,
that freebie. You never pick up
Yeah,
time.
she
I'm gonna give
did.
you that
me did
freebie.
hear, me did hear, me just a piggyback.
All right.
She did.
Okay. So let me say though that we have the Rocky Point area. That is where bauxite is exported after it is mined and refined. It is also known for tobacco. So those who into that, sugar cane, right? Livestock and fish farming, among others. We talked about the Milk River Bath as well. Then you can take a walk through Empowerment Park. There is that.
Uh
Go
huh.
to the Milk River Spa. Then when we get to Juicy Beef Patty down by the headquarters, once you're on a South Coast journey, you must stop at Juicy Beef and have a
Oh,
nice hot
Oh,
juicy
juicy
beef
beef.
patty
And we
is
have juicy
good.
beef in Manchester too. Two of
I
them.
never, I tell you
just
that
beef
I
all
can.
over.
That thing
Yeah,
there
we
is
have
from
a
long
few.
time. I tell you that I had problems with the meat, but didn't know.
Yeah.
Because you see, when I eat that salty, juicy beef patty, because I find it very salty and just meaty, and it would just make me a burp, a belch, a go on. Me not like that.
Some people love it for those
But
very same properties.
yes, man. But now you can grab some food at Murray's Fish and Jerk Hut. Hello. And so it's a crowd favorite. Choices, whether it's pork, fish, rabbit, etc. You can have it. Then you can also check out
Wow.
the Maypen Clock Tower. We know that it's a very busy area, quite congested, but there's a nice clock tower right there. Go up, go look. Then you go hiking to the top of the Bullhead Mountain to Johnson Crawl Waterfall, and you can
Yeah, they know.
check out and go visit them. Also, you can go explore Farkas Beach. I know Farkas Beach. You may want to take a swim, but make sure you check it out first before you go jump in like you're a big swimmer. Then you can
And there's
also
one thing I want to talk. There's not one, and there's another item I missed, and I don't know how I could have missed this. St. Mary is the only parish in Jamaica that has bluey mangoes.
okay.
Excuse me?
Oh,
Bluey
What the heck
mangoes?
is bluey mangoes? What is this bluey mango?
Yes, man, the same thing we call blackie.
Our green
No,
gears?
black is
No?
different. Black is thin skin. Bluey mangoes, the skin is very thick and it's very sweet. I mean, it could give you diabetes at the first bite.
We must have it and call it something else.
That's how sweet it is. I only see it in St. Mary, only St. Mary grow it. And it's not everybody in St.
Bluey.
Mary, it's not everywhere in St. Mary it is either. It's in my parish area.
Really?
Sweetest mango there is on earth.
so
Seriously
this
speaking.
Wow.
see
In
the
the
I'm
middle
gonna
and
bluey.
check.
not
I'm gonna
soft
check
sweet.
it out, Max.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
Yes.
see,
sweet.
Just got
here
bluey
is
mango.
here Pauline the Montegonian saying, see, Morris, I mentioned Morris. And I'd just like to wrap up because I'm almost finish my little portion here, but you can also have a look at the Hall Great House if you can. It has so much rich history to
Oh
get
my,
familiar
White
with.
Witch of Rose Hall. How could I forget the great house?
Yeah,
White
you're that
Witch of
no, sir.
Rose Hall. Oh
Yeah.
my.
Oh
And that's a
man.
very
So
famous thing. How you forget that?
Not
right. So
true.
so
And
so
it's
the Hall Great House, it holds some history as far back as when the English captured Jamaica. It was given to Major Thomas Hulse, who was an
Mhm.
officer in the army. Then you can visit the Rocky Point Beach. They say this is a hidden beach, but you can find it. Go check it out. And Salt River. You can also have a look at some of the old railway stations, and there are so many more stuff I could share with you, but I will not hoard the
And
session.
where's the first capital found? The first capital was Seville, which holds a great house and a lot of archaeological um, facts, things have been found at Seville to in keeping with our history. Seville Great House is right there in St. Anne's Bay, aligning the property of the hospital right there is Seville Great House, which was the first capital.
Thank you, ma'am. And here
So
Tamika is saying, how do you for
Give you some catch up the Jackie.
Green Grotto Cave, it's on my list. How come I didn't say that? And Green
And
Grotto
you,
is not even far from where we live, where we come
I was
from.
gonna remind you of Green Grotto
Yes,
Caves, you know.
and
Because
it's on my.
whenever we go on school trips, it would be,
Thank you, Tamika.
Great House and Green Grotto
Yes,
Caves. Yeah.
yes,
Yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so
true.
in
yes.
Kings so they're in
Yeah.
Kingston. Andrea is talking about
I don't
the
like green
Devon
got I'm
House.
afraid I got that.
Mhm. So
Me too.
Andrea is making her contribution because she's from Kingston, the Devon House, the park, tasty patties. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, there's a lot in Kingston. I mean, we're not gonna pursue Kingston because
We can't be
Kingston is
touchdown.
Kingston.
Everybody come
King,
from town.
right, Kingston is Kingston. We leave it at the top. We just the tributaries
Yes.
that coming down from that section. But James Bond, that
Mhm.
James Bond movie, Live and Let Die. Guess where it was
Mm-hmm.
Die.
filmed? Right
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
around Mobay,
Uh-huh.
the friendly
Mm-hmm.
city as we call it.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. And Ian Fleming's, remember, Max,
Mhm.
Ian
Yes,
Fleming's
yes,
Firefly is right
yes,
there in St. Mary. And it's a
yes,
Who is
beautiful
that here,
property.
Fleming? Yeah.
And he's
yes.
buried right there. Beautiful model grave. If you go up there, you're looking at the bay of right out in what you call it, Port Maria and Rockabessa. All of that you're looking
Yes.
at. It's beautiful
Yeah.
Yeah,
from
those
up
those
there.
are those are the four major towns in St. Mary. There's a Rockabessa, there's Port Murray, there's Highgate and
Yeah.
Richmond. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes,
Anyways,
ma'am.
Yeah, man. So
I'm
it's
gonna have to
11:30.
run.
It's 11:30. It's our wrap time.
Yeah, we are running.
Yes, but I'd like to thank you, ladies, for your contribution. I tell you. See, Pauline mentioned Annie Palmer, White Witch of Rosal.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Them still a try real she. Every now and then they have a seance. It's a
Yes.
whole it's a whole tourism built off of that. Every now and then they decide to have a seance and see if they can raise her and get some answers.
I
She go
don't.
and
I
get up
don't think. I,
and box the message.
I don't
Not
think they would
true,
like the response. I don't think
right?
they would like the response. So they better be.
They better leave her
Aye.
alone.
Mhm. We had a great conversation this morning highlighting our parishes and, of course,
Yes.
you as our guest, mentioning about where you're from. But please don't forget to share the link with someone, ask them to subscribe to the channel, and let's continue to have great times here on Saturday Morning Runnings. It's
Yes.
informational, it's laughter, it's talk, it's all inclusive.
Yeah,
Yes,
reminiscing. The
that's what it
Yes,
is.
reminiscing is really
Nice.
yes.
well what I
And it's
like.
very educational. Because a lot of stuff
Of
I didn't
Yes.
even
course.
know about my own country and I learned it right here. So thanks to you ladies. It was a
Yeah, some
wonderful
things we
show.
forget.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
multitask here as we speak, as we're wrapping up.
No problem. But it's been a wonderful morning. Thank you all. Let's continue to keep each other in thought, pray for each other. And to your audience, continue to pray for us so that each time when we appear here, there will be something for you to walk away with. What's your takeaway this morning? Jamaica nice. That's mine.
Jamaica nice.
Rep your
Absolutely.
parish.
Doesn't matter which parish. Jamaica nice. But
Jamaica
for,
hot.
Yes.
but for me, still nicer.
In the nicer than mine. When you fly down, you
The
better
nicer
stop
than
at
mine.
Donald sunset. You're not going nowhere.
Everybody's banana chips and everybody's banana chips and all ladies love chocolates.
Oh,
Cadbury, I tell you.
All right, Max, you
So,
got that one. And banana chips.
banana
Yes.
chips.
so yes, Angela, big up penance. Sure. Penance
Oh my
Clarendon, I tell
goodness.
you. So
Wonderful.
wonderful. Enjoy your day, everyone. And those of
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
who,
I have a very busy one.
who don't have enough to do, no busy people. Some of we don't have nothing to
Yes,
do,
we
so
have
we
a
just
I
lot
go
am
to
under
sit
the
do.
down.
weather. I'm going to go back to my bed. I have to medicate this cold before it takes a hold of me.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. And we
Before
don't
we
want
get
to
up, before
take
we
a
get
hold
out
of
the
you.
hand.
So
Mwah.
blessings, everybody. We out. We out. See you in the next
See
We
week.
ya.
out.
God's willing.
When Jamaicans talk about their parish, one feels that no other parish can match up their own, and the remaining 13 parishes are not up to par. We boast about our rivers and caves, the breadbasket and orange walk, while others brag about famous people who come from Fidem Parish, and that Fimi Parish nicer than yours. All we know is that this is one country with interesting people. A Satideh Mawnin Runnings. Come, make we talk. Hi, I'm Lady D Denise Gomez, and I have exciting interview segments and features inside the zone. For recording artists, you can sing well inside the zone. Second Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. is for you. Writers, share your story, no man, in From the Author Zone on third Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Mail Zone has unbelievably juicy stories of love, heartbreak, and triumph. 7 p.m. has never been this good. On Mondays, it's news, talk, engaging features at 7 in the Monday Drive. And Center Stage has everyone talking on Thursdays. Be a part of the show. Email me insidethezone@gmail.com or call me 914-304-2592.